and don't swing for the fences in another. Just try to make it even keel all the way through. We'll see if that's what the players do, but that's not for a little bit. As of right now, we're going into this matchup. A lot of fun. ADRIEL going up against RYLEY, our current world #2, who honestly looked like maybe we were going to say goodbye to him early yesterday, but he was able to come back and stay alive. And then on the other side of it, we had a really fun matchup. I mean, these were our first 2 matches of the day, RYLEY versus YORU, and then Ruben versus ADRIEL. Really, really fun to see Ruben and ADRIEL match as well. So here we go. Going back to bait. RYLEY was the only person that we saw run bait yesterday. He did it in his last match, and his last match in the very first game. And we'll see. I mean, apparently he liked what he had there.
Yeah, another thing is about this match. I saw someone say in the chat today that RYLEY took ADRIEL's spot at the World Finals last year. That's the reason why ADRIEL didn't quite make it to the top 8 for the World Finals. So this is interesting. I think that ADRIEL has a lot to prove here in this best of 3.
Yeah, that's a great little bit of history there to add to the drama of this matchup. I mean, definitely 2 guys that are feeling like they're at the top of the world. RYLEY definitely has the edge on ADRIEL in that sense, and ADRIEL getting a really nice breakthrough here. Boss Bandit's still there to tank. Ice Spirit comes in late. Mighty Miner is able to clean up that hog. 22-59. ADRIEL up by 1, but Mighty Miner on the board and a hog hit in as the Evo barrel comes out. Perfect timing, perfect everything there. You can see both of them with the raise of the eyebrows. ADRIEL proud of his prediction and his play there, and RYLEY going, all right, man, okay, cool, let me get some damage somewhere.
Yeah, I like this matchup a lot for ADRIEL. He's got a really quick cycle. He even has the Fire Spirit, which is good versus Goblin Barrel. And he's locked in. He's got a nice prediction on the Fake Barrel as well as a log onto the real Goblin Barrel with that Evo. And now RYLEY's in a situation where he's going to have to keep spamming. He's going to have to get even more Goblin Barrels on the board to try and cycle back. But he does get some damage into here, but here comes the hog. Earthquake gonna drop down. Boss Bandit dashing. He goes for a defensive Goblin Barrel. He's struggling. The Boss Bandit connects with the pre-log, and this tower is gone. RYLEY's already thinking about what deck he's gonna play next game, realizing this one is over.
Didn't love that barrel right in the middle of all of that, Juicy. You know, he was RYLEY was able to get back to a second barrel and kind of use that defensively, but honestly, he sent a barrel in the middle of ADRIEL's kind of defense and counter push, and that barrel, it only pulled out 2 elixir, and what I was gonna say, but then ADRIEL just straight up 3-crowned him was, oh, I would have really loved to see ADRIEL use in the wrong lane. She can really, really punish you, although in game #1, really worked out for ADRIEL.
Yeah, she's a double-edged sword. If you know what you're doing with it, it's really going to provide an insane amount of value. But if you make even one mistake in how you play it or an ability here or 2, next thing you know, you've used 8 elixir on 1 card and your opponent's overrunning you.
So those decks you guys are seeing on the screen are not what we saw in game #1. Those are from the previous matchup. Just a heads up in case you are worried and anyone repeats a card. And don't worry, we're on it.
Gobstein in the back, and looks like RYLEY's got the Tesla. RYLEY using a drill deck with the Dark Ob without the Evo Dark Ob or the Evo Tesla. So, and without the Evo Drill. So what even are the Evos here? This is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is really interesting, and I can't imagine he made an Evo mistake, but with only 2 spots left, he's going to have to hope that he didn't. There we go. Evo Valkyrie is the second to last. Goblin Doctor, Goblin Monster coming out. I think I called him the Goblin Giant earlier. Give me a break. It's 7 in the morning. And also, we haven't seen much of the Goblinstein. I'm really happy to see Goblinstein kind of working its way back into the meta, honestly. I know that for a long time, people were sick of it and thought it was a little too powerful. Definitely a really tough card to balance, but I do think it's found itself in a good spot. Goblin Doctor doesn't feel too powerful. Goblin Monster doesn't feel too powerful. Neither does the ability.
Yeah, I think I absolutely agree. I think it's in a solid spot, but still in certain situations able to provide some value. In this situation, I don't see it getting much, though. RYLEY with the poison, probably going to be dropping a poison on top of the Gobstein most of the time, and if not, he'll have that Valkyrie on top, help him cycle to his Evo Valkyrie. Valk going to drop right now.
So Yep.
Onto the drill here.
Evil Bomber showing up a few times throughout the competition, which has been nice. Not super popular in general after its nerf, but I think that was a good nerf, Juicy. I mean, it definitely felt like it was completely hamstrung after it happened, but I don't know. I mean, how many times could you lose a game on an Evo Bomber at the bridge that you couldn't get to?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that he is in a pretty healthy spot right now. It definitely just doesn't seem like it since he was so strong before, but I mean, it's still able to get really nice chip damage, and when we're either playing at the highest level, any sort of damage matters. So it makes sense why we're seeing him come out a couple times here in this drill deck.
Yeah, and that's a great point that you make. You always see that at the highest level. Any lick of damage is incredibly important, and yeah, that bomb coming through for only 2 elixir is the other thing you got to remember. So, all right, here we go. Another push coming in here from ADRIEL. Focus on that right-hand tower. 2204 plus the Evo Snowball.
It's the Valk and the guards.
Wow.
But he's able to stop it. He's staying alive. The Goblins do get one more hit, and the Gobstein Scientist as well. ADRIEL now up about 300 damage here despite not having a big spell.
Yeah, ADRIEL just keeping up some really great pressure, and you know, this iteration of this deck is, you know, kind of what we saw Pedro run as well, and I don't know, pretty cool. Seems like it's working out all right.
Yeah, ADRIEL's liking
Something
it
we
as
didn't
well.
see at all yesterday. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just think, yeah, you're absolutely right. We haven't seen it at all, and it doesn't even look like a good deck, honestly, but it's working, and that's all that matters. Speaking of working, these guards are working. Get some damage for Riley on the right side, and all of a sudden, we're kind of evened up. We have about 53 seconds in triple elixir overtime. Arrows on the Dark Gob, and Riley completely switching lanes.
Here we go, Poison on top of the hut. Hut right in front of the tower to catch the guards, plus the drill. Now the Evo Snowball comes in. Goblins from the hut, though, should come out and help. 1353, still a decent amount of damage in there for ADRIEL. Down to 1330 against 405. Riley back on offense. Evo Valk, the great equalizer, comes in. Fire Spirit on top, but those Goblins are going to get on top of the tower. Fire Spirit mistimed.
And once again, this is the importance of having a log or bar barrel in your deck. If the opponent goes for the Evo Snowball and you don't have something to take out those Goblins, and once again, look, the Goblins are in the tower. Riley with a Snowball on offense, but the Bomber's helping out. Goblins still get hits. This is shot for shot. Everyone is going in for the damage in the last second. The Dark Goblin locks on the tower, and Riley takes game number 2, tying up the best of 3.
I mean, he just slides that right in there. Perfect timing, right when ADRIEL sends in the drill, just a little bit short on elixir. CRL, top 1,000 players get invited to what then gets you to the end of the month in our CRL monthly finals. So I hope that made sense. But the best way to do it, subscribe to the channel, follow on Twitch, follow along on Twitter or X to make sure that you see when these competitions happen. And then, hey, we could be calling your matches here, just like how I've never called a Tourist or a YORU match before this weekend. Been doing this for a very, very long time. That could be you this year.
All right, we're hopping to the game number 3 here. This is an elimination match, so someone's going to be walking home away with $500. I mean, it's not nothing, but I know the ambition these players have. They want that champion prize. And the Ram Rider ignores the Goblin Hunt once again. This pathing, the recent pathing update, I'm glad I'm seeing it not only affect me, but also the best players in the game.
Yeah. That's a really good point that you make, because I definitely have found moments where, I mean, and Riley's not completely out of this game, but he is in a bad spot. But I've definitely found that happen quite a few times. Great King Tower activation there. Still cost him a little bit. Where the new pathing has just completely done me dirty.
Okay, Monk in the back from ADRIEL. We have a Skeleton Surround last second from Riley. Really well played. That's going to be 0 hits with the help of the King activation. And you're right, it did cost a lot for him to make the activation happen, but it's an investment. It's going to help him out for the rest of the game now. But now he has to deal with this expensive push with the Monk, Ram Rider, and once again, Ram Rider getting pushed to the side by the Monk, making it so that it completely bypasses the Goblin Hut. And Riley's just shaking his head. He's taking a lot of damage. He's shaking his head here.
He's so tilted, and I can imagine why. I mean, it's two back-to-back missed pulls on the exact same push coming across the bridge. A Monk plus a Ram Rider. The Monk, the density of the Monk, body blocking, pushing that Ram Rider maybe a half tile over. And yeah, with that new pathing, that is not going to do it. So Riley going to have to get a little more used to playing that Goblin Hut, just one tile over to the right. And, you know, it's going to pull the Ram Rider, and it's also going to spawn Goblins to help out in that case instead of doing a whole lot of nothing.
Monk counter pushing left-hand lane. ADRIEL does have Lightning as his last card in this deck, or he should. So that's also going to make this even more difficult to make this comeback happen. Goblin goes on the left-hand lane again. It is placed one tile up, and the Ram Rider isn't getting pushed by anything this time, so it will pull. Hogrider does get some hits. Riley's starting to lock in here and maybe get some damage back. Maybe there's a comeback possible here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, he's doing a great job getting damage where he needs. He's, you know, as we've talked about for years, he's sacrificing that left-hand tower HP and gaining elixir for that. He's also making really great micro interactions using that King Tower like you talked about to make up for elixir. So it's definitely not over, especially with that lightning. And now you see ADRIEL kind of hitting the panic button a bit, going, okay, wow, all right, you've got a big spell. You got that boss bandit that's causing me a lot of trouble, and I'm only in the lead because you missed 2 pulls on my Ram Rider. So ADRIEL's starting to feel the pressure here. Great Skellies plus Ice Spirit, 1068, 829. Riley felt like he was completely out of this. Now the splash from the Firecracker is in. Riley has just about taken the lead. Not yet. 918, 829. Hog Rider in.
Hogrider in, Ram Rider try and slow it down. Ice Spear to freeze. The King Tower is helping, but the Hog does get the hit. Riley now... Wait! The Boss Bandit re-dashes back to the tower, and Riley is lightning range. Will ADRIEL build a lightning block? No, he has nothing to make it happen. Riley is going to make the craziest comeback we've seen today.
No way, dude. No freaking way. That is just being lulled into a false sense of security. ADRIEL had everything he needed there. And even if it was a bad matchup, Juice...
That a lot, like, these players have put in to this tournament. I mean, there's Group 1, or the Stage 1, Stage 2, and now the Finals. So I'm sure a lot of the players are wanting to take as much cash as they can home here. I mean, and they deserve it. They've put in a lot of work. They've put in a lot of practice. And I'm very impressed with the gameplay that we've seen today.
Yeah, and you also know, like, with the world that we're working in Clash Royale now, those analysts and those coaches, you want the best ones, and the best ones want to work with the best players. So that also helps your run down the line. So now we see that deck once again here from YORU. Lightning comes in from Riley, which is going to be really nice for him. Ends up cleaning up that Goblin Hut, gets some good damage in, but now a decent counter push to deal with. Bar Barrel comes out, 5 elixir in the back. Guard's going to be there, so Riley running into a pretty nice matchup as of right now.
Yeah, it seems like he might have gotten the matchup he was hoping for. Maybe a little bit of some good work from his analyst here. But, yeah, we have the Ghost for the Goblin Drill. There's the Barbarian Barrel for the Goblin Drill. And, of course, the Guards for the Goblin Drill as well. The other thing is, YORU doesn't have a big spell in this deck. Yeah, there's just no Lightning for this Executioner. This Executioner is really going to block this lane and provide a lot of value. Speaking of value, this Boss Bandit getting in some work here as well. It does go down, but it forks out so much elixir. Here comes the Ram Rider. Maybe the Evo Bomber can clutch up, but the Snowball from Riley, a quick reaction time, going to take off the board immediately before it's able to take out the Eggsy. And wow, I mean, YORU down to 538 HP already. That's just 2 lightnings away from Riley winning this game with only 50 seconds left on the clock. At this point, I don't know how he's going to win, but if he is, this is how you have to do it. You have to switch lanes. You have to just hope that the Evo Snowball can carry you to victory. But that's why the Bar Barrel's in the deck once again. I've talked about it so many times today, guys. But the Barbarian Barrel, the Log, versus Goblin Drill plus Evo Snowball is just so important. Because once the Evo Snowball comes through to knock units backwards, you need the Barbarian Barrel to clean the rest up. And wow, YORU just seemingly extremely tilted here. He's not giving up to the very final second, but both of his towers now under 100 HP. Riley taking both of them down, and he's feeling happy about this game. Game number 2 going to be coming up right as soon as we can here.
Yeah, I mean, that was a victory from Riley that felt pretty dominant from the opening.
Yeah.
You're in the lower bracket. Your back's up against the wall. You're going up against Riley. You know, can you put it together? And this is usually where the rookies kind of start to run into a little bit of trouble, is on day 2, if they even make it there.
In down, Earthquake going to counter, but the Valkyrie here, Yoru, finding himself a much better matchup than the previous game.
Mm-hmm.
We have yet to see what win condition he's going to use here, but it could be a miner, it could be a hog, and there's the miner. I'm sure we will see a poison to pair with that as well.
Yeah, looking like just a good old-fashioned miner poison control here, and fortunate there for Riley, or excuse me, for Yoru. Riley dropping those skellies right on top of the miner as he populates, getting tanked for by the Valk, so the miner takes out the skellies, gets a few extra hits on that tower, just a small lead, 2807, lowest tower for Riley here, and 28 and some change, 2849 for Yoru.
Queen does not take the Little Prince. Really nice ability there, stalling the Little Prince from walking forward, so the Queen was out of range, and also protecting the Little Prince at the same time. This just forces down a Valkyrie and a log onto the Queen here as well.
So that was actually a really nice defense, but it ends up putting them both just directly even, so it just ends up being a bit of a wash.
Right. And the miner comes in from Yoru once again, trying to extend the damage lead. Roll hogs from Riley.
Ooh. And Rocket comes out, so miner Rocket control. I'm going to do you guys in chat a favor right now. If you type badge and then your player ID, nothing is going to happen. So just a heads up.
Ice Spirit here, trying to get more value than the YouTube chat right now, but the Gob Cage is going to drop down. And looking at the matchup here, I'm actually really happy with Yoru's matchup, but we've seen the Rocket really kind of fail so far in the CRL warm-up. We'll see if Yoru can give it some justice here, have some good defense, and really get those rocket cycles down whenever the Evo Cannon or when the Evo Valkyrie cycle. That's usually when you want to drop them down.
Juice, that was one of your greatest of all time. You've been doing this long enough now, son. You've got it. You've got the bits. You've got the banter. Chat lost it on that one. I lost it on that one. Absolutely brilliant. I'm proud of you. So
wow, that actually means a lot, for real though. It means a lot. Shout out to Andrew. I learned everything I got from Andrew and Rich Boys. Shout out to them.
Matchup definitely good. Just like you were talking about though, that Rocket very interesting yesterday, and this time Riley gets a perfect catch on the miner with the Skellies plus the Ice Spirit. Queen getting a decent bit of value, and will get tanked for by that one hog that sneaks in just in time, but as of right now, Riley just trying to figure out any way to get damage on the board.
So from Riley's perspective here, I'm just trying to think what he needs to do to win this. I think the biggest thing is you need to abuse your Archer Queen 3-card cycle in the opposite lane, which is what he's doing here. For two reasons. You have to try to get as many hogs and Earthquakes on the tower as possible, but if you can ever force out a rock on the Archer Queen, it's kind of a win for him as well, since that is part of the main win condition from Yoru here.
Yeah, Riley doing a very good job of catching those miners. It's not something you can do 100% of the time. That Evo Cannon got to be super frustrating for him to deal with as well. Just makes cleaning up these pigs so cheap. Every 3 or every 2, three defenses that come down, which allows for a rocket to come through. I mean, that's why I've never been good at playing Rocket Cycle, is like my defenses, I usually spend just 1 or 2 elixir more than I need to, and then if I try to sneak in a rocket, then I'm just really hurting, and that's why it's such a high skill cap deck. Even though I know you hate it, you do have to play it pretty dang perfectly.
Yeah, I do hate it, but I definitely agree, especially on a stage like this. It's not easy to play. You have to have perfect defense, and one mistake can really cost you here. Roll hogs do come through, maybe a slight mistake there, but he is up enough damage from some solid defenses so far. He should be chilling. I also do want to know Riley's composure here. He knows he's up 1 game. He's trying his best to win this one, but he knows if he does lose that he is going to have a nice chance in game 3 as well.
1036, 1670, 20 seconds remaining. Little Prince on the board. Ability does not come out. Little Prince just connects straight up, and that should do it here in game number 2. And a really nice matchup there for YORU, and exactly what you're talking about. We've said this many, many times over the years, and there's only been a few players really that this has not been true, and that's that poison control or very, very cheap control decks are really tough at the highest level. We saw it happen yesterday, and he loses it, and then he goes out and starts his second set with bait. And yesterday we were thinking, is that just to like build the confidence? Is that because he wanted to really shock his opponent? And is that because, all of the speculation that we could have? Wow, here we go. Mother Witch runs right into some Spear Goblins and some Bats. Looks like RYLEY is going to go to... looked like he was going to go Mortar. He still could. We did see a Mortar plus Valk deck yesterday, even though Golden Knight was more popular. Mother Witch, very interesting. We saw Mother Witch come out against a Mortar bait deck yesterday as well, but I can't remember exactly who it was, but they did a very, very good job of making sure to not give Witch value throughout that entire game, and they played the deck a little bit differently than you normally would. So... wow. We'll see how this shakes down. Juicy, what do you think we're seeing at the top of our screen here? What is this?
I believe it's some sort of minor poison or maybe a minor fireball, just spam, kind of just spam pressure deck. The problem is that he's going up against a Mega Knight, a Mother Witch, an Electro Spirit, a Zap, and a Barbarian Barrel. So these Goblet, these Wall Breakers, these Bats, these Spear Gobs are going to be providing RYLEY a lot of trouble here. The Mother Witch is going to be getting a lot of value, spawning a lot of pigs here.
And this is really interesting, Juicy, because I think that we see YORU doing exactly what you talked about. He's running a deck that counters bait, and also some of the bait decks we saw RYLEY run yesterday had no building in it. So now you're seeing a tower-seeking unit like the Ram Rider that also can clean up bait units. You're seeing a Mega Knight that can clean up everything at the bridge if it does come across. And then, like you said, the Zap, the E-Spirit, the Bar Barrel, the Mother Witch. Looks like RYLEY found himself in another tough spot here matchup-wise.
Yeah, Bats dropping down. Valkyrie, Evo up high. Evo Zap immediately taking out the Evo Bats. Evo Valk cycle, and RYLEY's somehow staying in this game despite all of the different counters here. And he's applying dual lane pressure now, but the double wall breaker connection, RYLEY winning this game by over 800 HP now.
And this did not feel like a very educated push. Maybe it ends up working out because of the Mother Witch needs to protect her. Does not. Ram Rider does get through. Piggy right behind, and never mind. That actually ended up working out. YORU felt RYLEY spend just a little bit too much on that the attack that came right before that, and ends up punishing him right back. I'd just eat those if I was him. Yep.
Eats the wall breakers to continue his Elixir lead, and he's gonna make another big push with his Boss Bandit. Evo Mega Knight, Boss Bandit. RYLEY has the Goblin Hut, but here comes the Mother Witch to the bridge. Poison has to drop onto her. But the Mother Witch does lock on the Valk, so she's not going to spawn too many logs. And nice job from RYLEY, cycling all the way back to the Evo Valk immediately to really clutch up this defense.
And just Zaps on that left-hand side will eat one wall breaker because of the Goblin up in front. And
wow, Mother Witch gets taken out by the double Valk. And now the pressure on both lanes is mounting. Spear Gods get taken out the Bar Barrel and the eSports and cycle. YORU does maintain the damage lead.
And this is starting to get real dangerous for YORU, just getting spread really, really thin over and over. RYLEY now doing exactly what he has to do in terms of sacrificing tower HP to make sure he gets the huge hit on the left-hand side. That Boss Bandit, the Mother Witch is behind, and now you see the fist up in the air. RYLEY has been eliminated by who? YORU. Who? I don't know. YORU.
Wow. The rookie of the year, YORU. I mean, I'm sure he's played in competitions before, but this is the first time that I've seen him really succeed